Today, Bitcoin hits a new all-time high above $113,000. Crypto miner Bitmining says it's shifting its focus to Solana. And the former CEO of Canadian crypto firm WonderFi breaks down the factors that helped Bitcoin notch a new record. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Talia Kaplan. Crypto prices continued to climb the day after Bitcoin rose to a new all-time high above $112,000. As of 2 p.m. Eastern, Bitcoin hit a new record above $113,800. Ether climbed more than 6%, trading above $2,800, and Solana's Sol token rose more than 4.5%. Now, Sol's move higher came after crypto miner Bitmining said this morning that it's shifting its focus to Solana with plans to raise between $200 million and $300 million to buy Sol tokens to strengthen the firm's treasury reserves. As of around noon, Bitmining shares soared nearly 110%. Turning to Coinbase, shares rose more than 1.5% as of midday after the firm's CEO Brian Armstrong announced on X this morning that the crypto exchange has partnered with AI-powered search engine Perplexity AI to give traders access to real-time crypto market data. All right, focusing on Bitcoin's new record for our main story. The cryptocurrency's rise came on days when investors returned to risk-on mode, driving the tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite to a record close yesterday. Tech stocks rallied as Nvidia became the first company to briefly touch $4 trillion in market cap. Investors have been expecting the flagship cryptocurrency to reach new records in the second half of the year as corporate treasuries accelerate their Bitcoin buying sprees and Congress gets closer to passing crypto legislation. This afternoon, before Bitcoin hit a new all-time high above $113,000, I spoke with Karia Samaroo, the founder and former CEO of Canadian crypto firm WonderFi, about what catalysts helped propel Bitcoin to a new record. I want to start off by talking about Bitcoin's new record, especially since you're the former CEO of WonderFi, which owns and operates 2 Canadian crypto exchanges. What do you think are some of the factors that helped Bitcoin hit that new record above $112,000? How much of that has to do with yesterday's tech stock rally, as Bitcoin is a risk asset that typically rises and falls alongside those stocks?
Yeah, it's really exciting to see Bitcoin hit an all-time high. Great time to speak with you. I think there's a lot of different factors that are playing into it, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to more demand than supply. And with there's 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be created, and I think you're seeing larger inflows coming from ETFs and this wave of Bitcoin treasury companies that is buying billions of dollars of Bitcoin or raising capital to do that and executing those purchases. And then you're also seeing still tailwinds of US policy changes, the strategic Bitcoin reserve. And then I think a big piece also is this overhang that we've had of regulatory uncertainty in the US, which is starting to lift and is encouraging more M&A and transactions in the space. So I think it's, Bitcoin's already been the best performing investable asset in the last 10 years. I think it's still just getting started at 112,000. And it's also really encouraging to see companies like MicroStrategy continuing to perform extremely well. Also, the best performing stock in the last 5 years. I see Bitcoin going much higher from here.
Right, so I take it you do think this momentum will continue. What's your outlook for Bitcoin in the second half of this year? Do you think the cryptocurrency will continue to notch new records? And if so, what will it take exactly?
I think we're just going to continue to see Bitcoin go higher from here. I think 150,000, maybe 200,000 this year. Obviously, we'll see pullbacks along the way, but I think that again, just going back to the supply and demand, we're just going to continue to see more purchases and more ETF inflows, and I think that's just going to continue to support Bitcoin price in the rest of this year.
Switching gears, Crypto Week here in the U.S. kicks off on Monday. The House Financial Services Committee gave the week that name as it's set to discuss the Clarity Act and the Senate's Genius Act, which both seek to regulate the crypto industry. Last month, the Senate passed the Genius Act stablecoin regulation bill. And so I'm wondering, given your experience in the crypto space and your background as a securities lawyer, what do you think about these developments?
I think it's great to see more clarity because, being an operator that has built crypto businesses in the US and in Canada, having uncertainty makes it extremely difficult to start and to grow businesses in the space. We experienced that a lot with WonderFi in the early days when there was a lot of uncertainty around regulation of crypto exchanges. And you see that in the US and, with crypto exchanges, but with things like stablecoins as well. So I think the more clarity there is, the easier it is for capital to flow into this sector and for talented operators to continue to grow businesses that are focused on exchanges or stable coins or any of these kind of ancillary things. So I think it's encouraging to see that the administration change is really following through with legislation that is trying to achieve what the goal is, which is to, I think, create better access to crypto and to just sort of grow adoption from a retail perspective and from an institutional perspective.
Now, I want to point to crypto M&A activity since you're the founder and former CEO of WonderFi, which was acquired by Robinhood for nearly $180 million. We have seen several other deals recently. Those include CoreWeave announcing that the cloud infrastructure technology firm will acquire Core Scientific in an effort to meet its AI power needs. Also this month, Coinbase announced that it acquired Liquify, a token management platform designed to help early-stage projects. What do you think about all this M&A activity in the space, and what do you attribute it to?
Yeah, I think it's great. It's really great to see more M&A happening within crypto and then also between crypto and TradFi. I think these types of transactions are the most exciting to me. I think when you go back a couple of years or 2 to 3 years, a lot of the crypto focused M&A was different crypto companies merging or acquiring each other. And we're now starting to see this sort of, ripple out into larger companies, institutions that are outside of the crypto space that are seeing the potential of digital assets and blockchain in being integrated into their businesses. So I think it's really exciting to see. I do think, being a securities lawyer, by trade, I can never get away from that. I do think that the spur of M&A activity comes from market conditions for sure, primarily. But I think that as there's more clarity from the regulatory side, that also just makes it easier for companies to enter into the space. Because what we've seen for the last decade in crypto is a lot of people, institutions, money wanting to come into the space, but being uncertain about whether it works from a regulatory perspective. And every different fund and company has, restrictions and things that they need to consider. And so as we get more clarity there, we just, see more, free flowing capital and transactions. And I think that's a really good thing. So it's been an exciting year for M&A, certainly.
And sticking with the topic of mergers and acquisitions, Architect Partners points to an exceptional second quarter as it relates to crypto M&A activity, saying it was resoundingly the best quarter ever for such activity. And this comes after M&A activity in the space first reached a record during Q1 of this year. Earlier this week, I spoke with Elliot Shun, a partner with the M&A and financing advisor for crypto firms, and he said that Q3 is off to a great start as well with some of the deals I pointed to earlier in our conversation. So do you expect this momentum will continue into the second half of the year? What's your outlook?
Yeah, I would agree with Elliot. I think there's a lot of transactions, I think, in the pipeline that have either been announced or are potentially in discussions. And I think it's just as the market continues to show strength, there are going to be more transactions that we see in Q3 and Q4 this year.
Now, Samaroo also explains the latest with Robinhood's acquisition of WonderFi and his new venture, which is dedicated to a decentralized AI network. You'll be able to check out his full interview over at cnbc.com/cryptoworld. Okay, that's all for today. We'll be back again tomorrow, and we'll see you then.